Awesome. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting interview in the Future Proof Your Law Firm group. Today, I am really excited to be having Mayra Joli today from the Joli Law Firm. Thank you so much for being here today, Mayra. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Luke. Thank you. I'm
So,
glad that youngsters are interested in us, the middle agers, to see what we
oh,
have to say.
yes, of course, of course. No, I think everybody that we've had on so far, one of the themes that we've talked about is that sharing knowledge is very important. And sometimes I think people that are starting out might not think to ask for help. Maybe they're a little bit too arrogant, or they just, oh, I don't need help, or maybe they think that people aren't willing to help them.
Or,
But I think
or
it's
also maybe it happens that some already seasoned attorneys are so selfish that they will not share their secrets, if you can call it secret. So the new attorneys will feel like, well, I'm not gonna ask her, because why if I ask her, she's gonna, snoop me, like
Mhm.
something like that. But not in this case.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I want to try and do with this group. So I'm really excited to be talking with you today. So why don't you start off just by giving us a little bit of background on yourself and your law firm, kind of what you guys are working on right now.
Well, right now we're working on everything in immigration, everything having to do to detention and removal, or reporting people who already have orders of supervision, or already have an order of removal. They have to show themselves up. We have family petitions. We have TPS, with anything having to do in the realm of immigration and naturalization. I'm the it.
Gotcha. And how long has your firm been around for?
Since 2007.
Oh, gotcha.
Since
Well,
2007.
good
Yeah,
for
I've been an
you.
attorney. I've been an immigration attorney since 2001, and then in 2007, I decided to go on my own.
Gotcha.
Immigration is a good place to start, to be on your own, because different from civil litigation and construction liabilities and all these big names, that the attorney has to have a big firm backing them up for the big clients to seek out their representation. Immigration, you can, anybody knows an immigrant who needs an attorney. So
Yeah.
all you need is to have a good base, good faith, and willingness to help. Once you have one client, if you're good, and good doesn't mean that you win cases. Good means that you truly fight for your client, legally navigating through the system. And then the word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Well, no, that's awesome. Yeah. So let's dive right into that. So, if somebody is looking to speak to an immigration attorney, what are some things that you would recommend they look for? What are the kind of the key factors of being a successful immigration attorney, I should say?
First, don't believe everything you see on TV unless you know the actual person. Do not go by the person who will be advertising that they will give you anything, because there is nothing to give. When an immigration attorney takes a case, the immigration attorney doesn't know what's going to happen, so there is nothing to be promising to give. And that's the basic. If one person just go to somebody because they saw it on TV, that's what they're gonna get, just a smoke and mirrors. So you have to, it's better to have gone to an attorney because somebody on the street told you about it, that just knowing because, oh, I see his campaign ads everywhere. That's what it is, a campaign ad. So substance is the key.
Definitely. No, that's very important. And, I think it's like you said, there's definitely a lot of, kind of false advertisements out there that are, that can kind of take away from maybe the smaller people who maybe don't have the budget to advertise or whatever. So what are some strategies that you've implemented in your firm to kind of get those people to say, oh, yes, you need to, to bring referrals to you guys, or say, Mayra Joli and her firm are the people that I want to work with?
Because I speak clearly, I speak loud, and I speak in language that they will understand. And I don't let, I let the clients know since the beginning what is the reality. First of all, I ask them, what do you expect from me? And then after that, I just tell them what is it that they're realistically can expect in their cases. Sometimes there is nothing to expect but to just swim, navigate the immigration system with them. And that's all I offer them. We will walk in this together. We will drive in this together. We will run and swim in this together. But they don't want to leave me alone trying to get their cases because I don't create facts. They already have a set of facts from their past. And then with that suitcase, they come to me, they dump it on my desk, so to speak, and I have to make sense of what it is and try to get the good and then try to separate the bad. But I don't going to destroy, disappear, or create anything. It is what it is based on what they brought to me. So an immigration is not cut and dry to say, well, this is the book and I'm going to apply it to you. Sometimes you have to make sure the book is the regulations will not apply to your client to save your client. And most of the time, immigration attorneys, we don't have anything to sell in a shelf. All we have is our expertise and our advice. So it's easy for people to say, you haven't done anything. I don't see you at what you have done, of course, because I don't have to milk a cow and then I can show you how many liters of milk I have taken out of that cow. It's different, but when it comes to this, and you having to put together and enhance what is it that you want to say, how you're going to say it, and how you're going to portray it, how you're going to present it to whomever. It's not only a judge. You have to deal with the judge. You have to deal with the agency. You have to deal with the ICE officers, and you have to deal with another immigration attorneys. And most of the time, none of those people combined have more knowledge than you. But you have to pretend that they know what they're talking about, and then you have to move the needle to benefit your client because they have the upper hand. They are the ones. I am representing my clients to try to get them things, but that's one thing that my clients have to understand. Nobody owes them nothing. If we start from that point, we are going to work fine, marvelous. Nobody owes them nothing. We are here asking for favor, discretion, and good grace from everybody in the immigration system. But I demand respect for me as an attorney, because if I don't demand respect for me, what is left for my client? I'm going to look like a fool in front of my client. So even if I'm losing a case, nobody's going to deny a case to me and make me look like a fool. No. At that point, I am the attorney. I have the diploma. I have the experience, and they are just clerks. I'm clear. So my clients will see a bulldog fighting for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes you know, it's like it's difficult for people to understand. Oh, if you are a professional, how can you talk like that? When I am in court, you don't want me to be this. No, you want me to be there towering over everyone, because in order to get my point across, I cannot let the other attorney, who is the one who's representing the government, do their job, and I'm just going to let them just trample over the rights of my client. If we're going to talk about right in that sense of due process or be heard in front of the court, I'm very clear with my clients, and I let them know that here they don't owe me. I don't owe them more than representation within the contract that we signed. And the United States of America doesn't owe anybody anything, because if I'm an immigration attorney and I am in the business of your American dream starts here, and the dream is the American dream, I don't want to be bashing America. I'm not going to be bashing I'm selling you America. I'm selling America to you and living in America, and I'm going to start by bashing America. No. So, we have that dynamic. The clients, we have that dynamic, and that dynamic that I express, they can see it everywhere, and TV and radio and Facebook and person, whatever. They can see that I am who I say I am. I believe what I say I believe, and I'll do what I say I'm going to do, either good, bad, or ugly, but they're gonna have it exactly from the horse's mouth, and I'm the horse.
Yeah. No, I think everything, I mean, that's super valuable for sure. And I think the overarching picture is that it's very important, like you said, to set proper expectations with your clients so that they know, you're not really, you would hate to overpromise and underdeliver. You never want to do that. Setting proper expectations is very important for sure.
I'm very positive, but I don't, some people, sometimes they take the positivism, but my positive energy and then translate it in that. She promised. And they see me as this angel, for real. They see me as an angel. That's why I say I'm a saint. They see me as an angel is coming, with an aura to save me. And they have dreams of saying that. The thing is that they see through me, and they see that I'm just a humble person, very spiritual and very true. So they feel like that, and in turn transform, because, Hispanic people, and most of my clients, they're very, very Christian, very spiritual. But me too, but not to that extent. So they put all that on me and say, like, I had a dream, and God spoke with me and told me that you're gonna be the one who get me through it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take that lightly, because I say, don't put that much pressure on me. We're gonna see what is there, and we're gonna go with it.
Definitely. No, I think that's important for sure. Having client management and keeping the relationship strong, but having that trust, and that they know that you're going to at least deliver on what you say you're going to deliver, but not promising them the world, for sure. Because you never know what could happen. There's things that happen all the time. So I want to talk a little bit more about what you're kind of working on right now, because before the show, you mentioned a couple things that seem real exciting. So there's a couple things. The first thing, you said that you're having some fundraiser coming up, a fashion show. Why don't you tell us a little bit that?
Yes. What happened is that I always be a philanthropist, even if I want it or not. You start being a philanthropist, doing good for other people. First, you start with your home. You start doing in your house. You start making good for other people different than you, because you take care of all other people's happiness. In turn, that makes you happy, and you take care of your own happiness. Then you start helping the extended family, and then after that, friends and others. So all of a sudden, you're helping people that you don't even know, just because you want to make their life better when they got to your door than before they met you. So we, instead of having these boring lunches in which they're gonna, the tearjerkers, when they're going to show you how bad others have it, and you're sitting here eating a meal, just give me your money to take care of those others. I don't like that. I said, why don't we have something more fun? Which is, that's how 9 years ago, my sisters and I, we put together this fashion night on Brickell. My office is on Brickell. So we put a fashion night on Brickell, in which in one night of fashion, glamour, and all of that, and the designers, and they, everybody donate to the cause, and they pay to come for the fashion show. We have beautiful models and just rolling the runway and all that. And that proves, we did it 1 year. It was kind of fun and good, and that proves that's the way to a fresh approach to making people donate for causes. We have causes like arranging for domestic violence victims but I don't want to bring you a family that is beat up. just to force you to get the money, because it can leave you with a bad taste. You don't want to see that. But we did it for the Bahamas. We 1 year did it for Casa Valentina, which is an organization who take care of children who age out of foster care, and then they have no place to live or place where they can find guidance. One time we did it for Dade Legal Aid, which is another organization from the Dade County Bar Association who takes care of providing legal advice or legal representation for people that cannot afford it. Just continue with the principle of justice for all. So, last year we had the Miami Rescue Mission as the beneficiary of our fashion show. And this year is coming up in February. It seems like, oh, that's next year, but you have to be prepared for that. And it's something that we really enjoy. And I don't want to say we are proud of what it's been proud of. It's good. The best thing that can happen to anyone is having to help others and not be the one having to ask for help. So there's nothing to be proud. It's just something that we want to do and we're doing.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, and I think, it got a lot of creativity to it. And, nowadays, with everything kind of shifting and, whether it's for fundraising or just, law firms as a whole, I think are going to have to get a little bit more creative with how they're, operating their businesses, because I know there's a lot of bigger firms, people from Wall Street kind of coming into the law space. So, individual smaller firms are going to have to do, some things to kind of set themselves apart. And you also mentioned, I'm curious to hear a little bit more on what the future of Joli Law Firm holds, because I know before the show, you mentioned that you're going to be, running for, as a candidate for a position in Florida. So why don't you talk a little bit about that, what you're doing and what you see the future of your law firm as well?
Yeah, well, I'm not new to running. In 2018, I ran for Congress for District 27. And just this past April, I ran for commissioner of my city of Coral Gables. And right now I am running for mayor of Miami mayor, because, and that doesn't interfere, but running for District 27 was more a commitment, because that would entitle for me, had I won, to move to Washington or be commuting to Washington. Then, there would be more arrangements that have to be done in order, because I have employees. I mean, I have a boutique law firm, but it's rather large. Mm-hmm. Then I'm running for commissioner. That's that's more a part-time. And also running for mayor. Well, now that with the current mayor of Miami, he doesn't have one job, he has 3 jobs. He's the mayor, he's the CEO of his firm, and he's something else. So, apparently there is a lot of time at hand when one is a mayor, if the person is not really, performing the job that the people hired him to do. So right now, that's what we're doing. And in that sense, it's not, I'm always being multitasking. It's not, I'm married, I have, my son is 16 years old. I even have a dog that we take care of and walk every day. So for me, they have 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then if you manage those hours, it's plenty of time. We don't have to have 1 more hour. So for those people who say that they don't have time, it's because they don't manage their time. There has to be time. If a person leaves their home, and they don't have time to make their bed, they didn't accomplish the first simple task. How's it that they're gonna take on the world and they couldn't even take on their pillows? So it's a matter of either you go to sleep early or get up early, but that doesn't mean that you cannot enjoy your social life. I have a social life, a professional life, a family life, a boring life, a nothing life, and everything life. So how come you find time? So I don't see anything like out of the ordinary and taking over the being the mayor of Miami. I mean, that's something that is a big talk to campaign, and many people just talk a big game, and at the end, they don't spend not even 6 hours a week in the job. So what is that all about? So, we can do it all. I'm every woman. It's all in me.
No, that's fantastic. That, I wish you the best of luck. And before we wrap up the show, I got two more questions for you. And one of them just sparked from what you were saying, because I'm sure a lot of law firm owners or just lawyers probably struggle with time management. So what are some tips or strategies you could give to somebody who maybe is having trouble making time or managing their time?
Well, think about those 2 days that are underappreciated when it comes to a weekday, which is Saturdays and Sundays. I don't want anybody to work their bonds off, working from 8 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. That's no quality of life. But if you see your Saturdays and Sundays, you get more done on a Saturday or a Sunday after you go to church than any day of the week, because you don't have the phones, you don't have the people, you don't have the distractions either. So you get ahead by the administrative work, because that's what is more overwhelming. When you have all these files and you have to attack them. You have to check, you have to sign, you have to review. Do it on a Saturday, do it on a Sunday. And 3 hours on a Saturday, 3 hours on a Sunday, you have a lot more done than a whole Monday through Friday. It's that simple. There's nothing more to look for. There are things in the firm that nobody else you cannot delegate. Nobody is going to do for you. If you don't put your eyes, and there have to be quality control. It's easy to have quality control when you are you have a small boutique firm, but that's how you create a model, and that model will multiply. In my case, I don't want to grow everywhere, just having law firms every city. I will grow horizontally, meaning I could take over my whole suite, my whole floor in my building. That's an idea. But you also have to know how to select the people that are going to be put in managing positions. For example, in my case, I have a great manager. But if that manager decides that she's going to select 2 more people to manage other positions, if we grow larger, we have people within their office who are ready and have the capacity and the principle to take over management. Sure. It starts from one, but that's one thing that today is going to be difficult to find, since we have a government who's giving money to people just to stay home. So there will be no pride in the job, in the position. That's something. It's not loyalty to the firm. It's loyalty to yourself. Mm-hmm. And that position that you were given, the trust that you were given in that position. Then, I always tell my kid, maybe you saw these cartoons, SpongeBob, SquarePants. When he was growing up, I have to watch that because he was watching it, and then get to the point that either you hate it and then get a headache, or you start finding a way to like a freaking square. So what happened? One thing I always picked out of this SpongeBob SquarePants, how happy he was to work at the Krusty Krab in Bikini Bottom, and it was ridiculous because you could see his Squidward always miserable because he was working at the same place where this yellow character is working, but he loved it and he did it to the best of his abilities. That's what happiness comes from. That's where fulfillment comes from. He didn't have to be the owner of the Krusty Krab. He worked there. He was proud of it. He had his house was like a pineapple, but he was happy and fulfillment. Doesn't matter how big the position is or how small it is. I used to be a Hooter girl. I used to work at Hooters. My tables, I want my tables to be the cleanest one. I wanted my table, my salt, pepper, salt, and checker to be the nicest one, the ketchup, because I just didn't want to work in a pigsty. I want everything clean around me. But that, and now I am at the top of my game, anybody could say, but I felt like I've always been at the top of my game. Remember, just depends what game I'm playing.
Definitely. I like that. I like that. Always be on the top of your game, no matter what game you're playing. That's a good little quote. Because I think, yeah, like you said, it's important to always be putting in 110% effort, regardless of what you're doing, whether it's, like you said, at your job or even at home as well. And I think that's where you could definitely find fulfillment as well. And there's a lot of things you said in there talking about delegating. That's very important. And finding the time maybe on the weekends. Yes, very crucial as well. So thank you, Mayra, so much today. My final question for you is what's one more thing you could share, because the whole purpose of this group is kind of talking about, firms kind of stepping into the modern era, and, younger people that may be struggling with adapting, or maybe their firm is struggling right now. What is one last piece of advice you could give to somebody that might be in that kind of struggling position?
One thing that you have to have in this modern era of technology, we like, for example, we are very mom and pop. We write things down. We don't have the state of the art. We work all through the pandemic. We are considered essential businesses. We didn't shine out. We were practically alone in the building, which is good if you have to have distance and everybody left. They're used to your distance. But we didn't get sick. We continue positive, working for the people, because the people who need us, they don't care if we are hungry or we are, we are in the bathroom now. They want answers. So one thing I tell people is that you have to have a presence. Bottom line, that's it. If nobody knows who you are, they're not gonna know that you speak so well English, or so broken the English, or so perfect. Nobody cares. But one thing you have to know, if you are as exciting as watching paint dry, nobody's going to want to go to you or with you. Therefore, you must kick yourself in the back and try to see if you can get that stamina out. And people are going to know if you are for real or not, if you're just faking it. One thing that has that has really helped me without me being an intention, being intentional, is that I am always taking pictures, I'm taking selfies, I take pictures all the time, and then I post it on Facebook, right? But it goes everywhere. So if you look for immigration attorneys, my name is gonna come up, not because I pay anyone. And one thing also, do not try to suppress the bad publicity. Do not try to suppress. If you have a Google review that is horrible, don't pay Google to get it out. Let it ride, because you cannot be a perfect attorney. If you are a perfect attorney and everybody's talking great about you, you pay for it. You paying people to talk good about you, and that is not realistic. You need to have this role of things going good, bad, and because you cannot be everybody's favorite. That's what puts you to the top. That's what brings you up there. Many people will think that my notoriety, I can say that, came after being the naughty lady. I was the naughty lady. You know the naughty lady saga?
I don't actually know.
Good. The naughty lady is that girl who was behind Donald Trump during the town hall in October 20 here in well, there's an alarm. It's a false alarm. Well, what happened is Donald Trump was here in Miami for the town hall in October of last year. I happened to be invited to go, and I ended up behind Donald Trump. And I was nodding with him as he was being attacked by Savannah Guthrie and all of that. So that in turn became the sensation because a Black woman sitting behind Donald Trump, a so-called racist, and she's nodding in approval with him. So that what many people could think that that was a strategy that I planned to be honest, ABC or CBS and this, I don't know, programming and sitting strategically behind Donald Trump. No, but that came about because I've been in the media so much that right now it was an explosion. So that in turn, I capitalized from that. That night and the following days, I mean, I was the most looked after name in social media, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. I was interviewed by Fox, Sean Hannity, AON, any major news outlet. But instead, even Saturday Night Live did a sketch on me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So even that, some people will say like, oh, they are damaging your reputation and your image. Absolutely not. I loved every minute of it. So that's something that embracing what's coming to you is what makes your character. Know that people are going to be saying, oh my God, they say that, but that comes with the time. I mean, running for political positions and being so different, being so away from the norm of what a politician have to be, what a attorney have to be, is it's just mind-boggling to some people. But having the integrity of planting your flag and sticking by it, no matter how many bullets are coming at you, that's what creates a person, a human being with principle and character. Not a woman or a man, just a human being. You have to be true to your principles, no matter what. Loud, even if you're gonna say it out loud, you're gonna say it quietly. That doesn't happen to me. Just do it. Just be doing it. People will say you are too loud. You're gonna have to turn it down. If I turn it down, so that's not me.
Mhm.
I am just pretending to be somebody else because somebody told me that's gonna get you more people to like you. I'm not looking for likes. I'm looking for myself to be so happy to come to work, myself to be so happy to drive home, myself to be so happy to be home cooking, cleaning, or whatever. That's it. Myself being so mesmerized by my transformation, because if you see me at 5 a.m, you don't want to say that I am that fabulous, but that's my secret. Knowing that you could go from an oruga, a little blurb, to this butterfly that goes outside. And the first thing I do, I take a picture with the flag. You can say I'm pledging allegiance. I'm doing both. I'm taking a picture with the flag, I'm playing allegiance, and I'm looking at the transformation of every day of this fabulous being, which is me. And I'm not being modest. I'm saying it from the heart. I am, I'm fabulous. I'm telling you, it's like, it's almost scary. Yeah, but I am fabulous. And and that same aura is transmitted into my nieces, nephews. They are all teenagers now, and they all wanted to be around us, me, my sisters, the mothers. It's difficult to have the younger generation wanted to hang out so much with the aunts.
Mm-hmm.
They do. There's something that we have that they say, I want to have it when I am in that. I mean, it's just nothing gets better than that. You are an example of others without having to lecture them.
Yeah.
Young and old.
Yeah. No, I think that was amazing. I really appreciate that. And I think, having that that kind of attitude is very important. And I bet that probably attracts a lot of people to you. But as well, it's important, I think, especially what you talked about in the beginning, strategy wise, not worrying about what other people have to say about you as much you know, is important. You don't want to let that bring you down. And you like you said, there's ways to capitalize on those things. You
Uh-huh.
know, that's something that I tell people very frequently, you know, is you can't be afraid. I know a lot of law firms are afraid to ask for reviews because they think that they're going to get a bad review. But like you said, nobody's perfect. You know, it's destined that you're probably going to get one bad review. It just might happen. But if you respond to that respectfully, if you are, you know, kind of try to spin it in any way positive, I think that would be much more, people would look at that and say, oh, wow, this person, you know, even though they had a bad experience, they tried to make it right, whatever, you know, that would be the type of person I would want to work with, not somebody who's just shelling off of those, you know, skeletons and locking them away in the closet. So
Correct.
that is very valuable, Mayra. So thank you so much. Thank you today for being here. If anybody wants to learn more about you, about your law firm, about your upcoming campaign, where can they find you online, social media, everything like that?
Everywhere. They open a file cabinet, there's Mayra Joli. They open a Goya a can, there is Mayra Joli. They go to church, there is Mayra Joli. They open the newspaper, there is Mayra Joli. They go to a debate, there is Mayra Joli. They just have to say Mayra Joli. Just click, just put Mayra Joli in Google. And I don't know, Google, it's not that Google lost me that much. They don't even know who I am probably, but
Yeah.
I am everywhere. So just say Mayra Joli and you will find everything you need to know. You can say, you can ask for the Northern Lady and still it's gonna be me.
Gotcha. All right. Well, if anybody wants to reach out, definitely go ahead and do that. And thank you again, Mayra, for being here today. Thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.